Good afternoon, everyone. If you stay longer, you'll get some yogurt. That's a secret. His Majesty and Department of State and Commerce, organizers and attenders, thank you for having me today. It is amazing to be here in Morocco and in this room. This is my first time in Morocco. And last night, we went to this event, GSI Youth in a university, and that was the first time I had a touch of what this event was all about, and the energy and the enthusiasm from these young entrepreneurs remind me of my old days, which is 6-7 years ago when I started my journey. And this morning when I walked to this place and I found out that how much energy also in this place, in this part of the world, about entrepreneurship. It is absolutely breathtaking of the people who have come from all over the Middle East and Africa, and also throughout the country here, and us from the United States, and coming and meeting an idea of making something. And for me, as someone from Turkey, as a Kurd from Turkey who lived in America in the last 19 years, I went through this myself, and I know what it means individually to me and what it means to a community where I live, and later on what it means when you tell the stories to wherever you go and inspire the others and tell them that it's okay to start the journey. So in Morocco, I feel it's been only a couple of days, but I feel like I'm home. The reason for that is Turkey is not too far from here. The culture that we share is not too far apart from each other. And I can only imagine the landscape for the entrepreneurs here in Morocco. And one of the things that I'm always struggled with is when you have an idea, when you wanted to start something, do you ask yourself that question is, will they let me do it? And this is the reality of the world that we live in. Meaning, is your idea is good enough, and your passion and your hard working is going to be good enough for you to start this, or there are social barriers that will make you stop pursuing your dream? And this is the most important thing that we have to overcome, especially in this region, especially in Middle East and Africa and maybe Eastern Europe, is that entrepreneurship is not something that belongs to certain part of people. It's entrepreneurship is, it doesn't matter where you come from, which town, which village, what kind of background, what kind of genders, what kind of education. If you have a good idea, if you're passionate about it, and if you're going to do everything necessary, that should be enough for you to pursue your dream. And that's what happened to me. When I lived in America, in upstate New York, I moved to US as a student to learn English, and I started my company in 2005 making yogurt. And it was 5 people of us when we started. And then 2 years later, we launched our brand. And then 6 years later, it passed $1 billion in sales and became #1 brand in the country. These kind of stories you'll hear in America all the time. It's a place that entrepreneurs, they come from every part of industries, technology, food, fashion, services. And then the entrepreneurs, they come from every part of backgrounds. You know, someone like me, or Russia, or Europe, or Africa. But what strikes me is, how can we get that landscape everywhere else around the world? You know, when I look back to my background as a farmer who lived next to the Euphrates River, my early part of childhood and later on when I moved to Ankara and to United States, I never thought I would be someone who would start a business. So I don't know how much value in there is trying to be an entrepreneur unless you don't have it in it. So basically entrepreneurs are, and I realized it later on, is someone who has issues internally. Is not okay with things the way they are, and they wanted to change things. I started because I didn't like the yogurt I saw out there, and I wanted to make a better one. And somebody else will do something else. But the entrepreneur is a way of living, is a way of looking at things, and it's something that bothers you, it's something that makes you wonder about things. It's basically is a way of living for me, for my opinion. So you would learn a lot of technical things in conferences like this, in classes in universities and in gatherings. But nobody is going to be able to teach you what it takes when you start your journey. It is a totally personal thing. And every story is different. So when I talk to my friends, my colleagues and young ones, and I say, if you want to be an entrepreneur, try not to be one and try to kill the idea. And if you can't help it, then you should continue on your dream. Because this journey is not an easy one, especially if you're starting from nothing. It's a tough one. But the reward after it is the most amazing one. Not only you go through this transformative journey, also people around you, your community, your family, and of course with your product, what you contribute to society, it is one type of miracle that you will go through. And that I recommend to everyone. So before I say anything else, and I will say, in the entrepreneurship, success is not really is a destination. It's purely a journey. A journey has so many stages. You go from beginning of the ideas where you struggle about the idea for years and years, and then you start, and then you go through the difficulties and challenges, and then you go to some places that people start recognizing you, and then you see things that what happens to you along the way. It's a very, very humbling experience. And through this experience, an individual just changed. And for that, I say, whoever has started and whoever is going to start, never forget enjoying the journey. Because if you focus only to the destination, you'll forget the vast majority of this value. And before I get off, and I say to you that if you don't have a purpose to start things, it will only go so far. You must have a purpose besides the product and the money and the value that you created. The purpose has to be above and beyond and everything else. And thank God at Chobani we had that purpose right from our beginning. We had a foundation and we had a consciousness of our environment. And through our journey in the last 6-7 years, we try to help as much as we can, not only to ourselves and our community, everywhere around the world. And this last 2 weeks ago, when Syrian refugees, hundreds and thousands of them passed through the Turkish border and Lebanese border and Jordan, we couldn't just stop and watch it. We had to do something about it. And at Chobani, and personally myself, we reached out to UNHCR and IRC, and in 2 weeks we'll be going into the region to help the people who are facing the winters and have so much needs, especially girls and children. So for me, entrepreneurs are not only focused on their businesses and what they do every day, they have a vision to look at every corner of the world and see what they can do with their product, with their messaging, with their wealth or values or whatever they have, and make a difference on people's life. When entrepreneurs start making a difference on people's life, small or big, it doesn't matter, it will come back to their business and their work, and it will double and triple and it will have a rocket engine type of effect on what they do. So the purpose of what you do is extremely important. And we don't have to have it day one, but we can have a consciousness of it. Because our day one purpose is to get things going. I have gone through this journey, and it was only available because I moved to upstate New York. And I only wish that what America has given to me, I could make sure that my family members could have in Turkey, in Morocco, and everywhere else. Because access to hope, access to entrepreneurship from every sect of the life, every type of people, is the new hope for the world to come into a better place. That's a new hope that we can always say that I can do it. We do it or not, but believing that we can do it is a very, very powerful mindset. So I hope a meeting like this and the young minds like this and passionate people like that, like joining to this conference, can go back to their homes and villages and cities and spread this world, that nobody is just better than them and they're no better than anybody else. What matters is what's your idea and how much you're willing to do about it. So hope that we'll see the world in a very, very soon. Thank you so much.